Hello and welcome to Fire Them Cannons podcast. This is episode 5 with me, Cal and Anton. And today, big topic, as you can see on the thumbnail and in the title, Arteta, 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 Arteta. That's going to be the big topic of discussion in this episode. We thought it would be a good time to discuss that because it was the international break. We have 3 games in the first season to that we have reflected on. And we want to just talk about Arteta, where he's going, what he's done, and what the future holds. So before we get into it, please hit that like button as it helps support the channel, and please hit subscribe if you want to see more. How are you doing, Anton?
Yeah, good. A bit bored. Don't have anything else to talk about. Lots of narratives being thrown around about our club over the last week or so. I think just a bit far from the real truth. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting ready for football to kick in, so that Arsenal can actually show everybody what Arsenal really are supposed to look like, unlike this very weird sample size you've gotten out of us so far. So yeah, excited to get that out of the way. How about you, my man?
Yeah, pretty good. Just excited to see football again because it's been a bit of a wait. Because I don't know about you, but I don't really watch too much international football. It's a little bit of salad dressing for me. It's not really anything that I'm keen to see. So, I just want to see our players to play again. We haven't really seen Eze play. We've yet to see Nkapie touch the pitch. I just want to get back and want to win something this season, like really badly.
Yeah, I feel like we've been so excited about this team and like the transfer window and stuff like that, and we've really yet to see that team play. Like that's the thing that annoys me about all the conversation at the moment is like the team we've assembled to actually play this season has really yet to properly touch the pitch. That's the utter truth.
Yeah,
and it's like wait until you see what that team looks like before we start actually making a conclusion about what Arsenal season is going to be. Like that's that's sort of
I think it's too early to make conclusions, but you can still draw some things from the game.
I mean, because 3 matches, one of them against our biggest title rival, it's still legit, but it's still not enough of a proper sample size to me. And some of the key contributors that we've brought in to sort of change the style of play have yet to really play for Arsenal yet. So
yeah,
the one singular one who wears number 10, who came across from Crystal Palace, played 15 minutes. So
I just want to see what he can do, and I just want to see what he can do with Saka as well. I just want to see our strongest team play, and I want to see what we're capable of. So yeah, but that's not the real topic today. Let's get into it.
We'll have plenty of podcasts to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. Here's the big topic, and a bit of a secret into this. One of the reasons we started this podcast was for topics like this. We were like, blowing up our group chats, throwing back and forth about Arteta, and Cal goes, "Hey, maybe instead of annoying everybody in this group, let's just make a podcast, and we can talk about this properly someday." And so now that day has arrived.
Yeah, at least part 1. Because I feel like this isn't gonna go away. This is just something
especially given just how enormous this season is in terms of this topic specifically.
Yeah,
everything's going to sort of come into play, and we'll dive deep into it. So I just want to kick it off. We'll start off the first sort of topic. We've kind of split up this debate into about 5 different topics. Debate, you can call it debate or not debate, but this discussion. The first one is, so the question I want to bring, right? And I'm just going to underline this. Actually, I want to start off the topic by underlining some facts. So, in Arsene Wenger's last season, which ended in 2018, Arsenal, for the first time in over 20 plus years, failed to qualify for the Champions League. After that, obviously, there was discussion about maybe bringing in Arteta, but it was too early. So we brought in Unai Emery. Unai Emery inside that period of time. By the way, this is Arsenal Football Club we're talking about. So had a winning percentage of 53%. He lost 27 and drew 15 with 61 wins. So like out of how many games is that in total? 78 games. Right, not 7 games. That need to do quick math. Like 80. Wait, we're at 40, 42 plus 61, 103 games. Emery won 61, but that goes outside the point that we never qualified for the Champions League one time throughout that period. We finished like I think 8th or 9th at certain points in that season, and he ended up getting sacked, and Freddie Ljungberg took over the reins of Arsenal for a very short period of time before the Cronkies finally settled on bringing MIKEL ARTETA. Now, I should underline as well, the start of MIKEL ARTETA's reign, like in terms of his first season, really, after winning the FA Cup, was Arsenal's worst start in the history of the club ever. I believe we lost like maybe our first 3 matches for the first time ever, and the goals we were losing by as well. I think we lost to like Man City and Chelsea and somebody else in that period of time as well. But if you look at the sort of the team that he had as well, I like my question is, Cal, the team that MIKEL ARTETA has now today, is it better or is it worse than where he started?
Come on, that's a loaded question.
A very loaded question. I just wanted to give a bit of a background into where we were at before this man took over the reins.
Obviously, if we're talking about, if the first thing we're going to talk about is comparable squads, I think something that we need to also take into consideration is we all like to, take a dump on the Cronkies, but the level of investment since Arteta's come in has been kind of massive, in terms of how much money they spent comparatively to what they've spent before. I think one of the big problems with, Arsene was, he just didn't have the funds. You know what I'm saying? He put together the fact that we were making top 4 with some of those squads is, insane. But now with investment and good squad selection, our squad right now is probably the best. Would you say it's the best it's been since the Invincibles?
Yes. But
as a squad,
like I'm talking about 2025, 26.
This squad here. Not saying that they are the Invincibles. It's just there has never been a period in time since that team fell apart where there's been so many high quality players in all these positions at the club. That's been the Achilles heel of Arsenal. Always missing that one player when challenging in the past, or just having crap squads and having one guy playing hero ball, 1 or 2 players playing hero ball. So, the squad right now is incomparable to what it was.
Interesting. I don't know if I can bring up. I want to see if I can bring this graphic up onto the screen here. If I can do a bit of a screen share, because I just want to illustrate something right quick. Let me do screen share. Here you go. All right. Okay. Can I bring this to the stage? Here we go. So this is MIKEL ARTETA's first home game as manager of Arsenal Football Club.
Oh my God, I forgot Saka left back. That's crazy.
Yeah, so Bernd Leno, Maitland-Niles, Callum Chambers, David Luiz, Bukayo Saka, Lucas Torreira, Matteo Guendouzi, Reece Nelson, who actually still is at the club technically, but on loan, Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette.
There are probably 2 to 3 players in there that you'd want now, which is Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. Probably
but not this Ozil. Like that's the thing. This Ozil, like that's the point. Like the people need to remember, like Mesut Ozil, totality was a great player. This Ozil was very mentally destroyed. He could barely touch the pitch. like he was like one of the most bizarre things ever. He wasn't injured, but yet he just kept on not being picked for the squads. Like he just would never show up. We would go up to, I remember a trip to Newcastle and they left him at home last minute, like famously. Like that was not the same Mesut Ozil. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish I had a more of a crazy 11 I could show you, because there were ones with like Socrates in there and stuff like that. It's sort of like an illustration of how far we've come under the manager, in terms of types of play, the types of quality and the standards that we have now versus then.
Yeah. But is that due to Arteta, or is that? I don't think that's an Arteta thing though. I think that's a Kroenke thing.
Yeah. But I think that the point wasn't trying to say like what Arteta was given and what he's able to change it to. And by the way, he won an FA Cup with that team, which is the only trophy he's ever won. I mean, you can, if you want to count Community Shields, he's won 2 of those. It's the only real trophy he's ever won with Arsenal, which is the interesting part of that debate.
Yeah. But so the squad's a lot better now, and I do think that he had a good hand in developing some of the players that was given to him, like Gabriel Magalhaes and Martinelli to a certain point. We'll get to that.
Didn't he buy them?
He didn't buy Martinelli, did he? I don't think he was.
Martinelli was here with Emery, but Gabriel, he was definitely an Arteta signing.
No. Gabriel wasn't an Arteta signing, I don't think.
Let me look this up. Gabriel.
Was it Gabriel or Saliba? One of them.
Saliba was not. Saliba was bought. I remember because I was looking through my Facebook and I was like, this window is sick. We bought six players, and one of them was David Luiz and William Saliba, and who else we bought in that summer? Martinelli we bought. That was under
Emery. Was it?
Was with Emery was the manager, but Raul Sanllehi was the director of football. No, Gabriel was bought in 2020, which was the summer after we won the World.
Okay. Okay. So he was early days, one of his first signings.
Yeah,
we got Willian
in that summer.
Yeah. Well, let's spoke about that the better. But okay, yeah. So he didn't inherit Magalhaes. It's just he was there from this so early. It kind of made me think.
And inherited it back to basically of David Luiz and Socrates.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah,
with Bellerin at right back and Saka basically playing at left back in that season. But that's because Kieran Tierney had an injury, as well. So which is why Saka kind of went in there in an emergency, which looks very funny to look at now, considering where he's coming in his career. But
yeah. So the squad's definitely improved, most definitely, and thank God for that, because we weren't going anywhere with squads like that.
Yeah. No. So I think the real question here on this point, and the real point cover that we're going to talk about is: has Arsenal progressed overall? The standards of the football club, have we reached higher goals than we set out to at the time of his appointment? Because I feel like when Mikel Arteta came into Arsenal, it was probably one of the lowest points in the history of our club in terms of the quality. The players, if you remember, the players literally quit on Emery, which is the reason why Emery was sacked mid-season. Now think about it from an Arsenal point of view, right? Arsenal keep managers as long as they possibly can. For Arsenal to have sacked a manager mid-season illustrates for you how bad it was. Now, like we did make Euros final under Unai Emery, but we also got pumped 4-0 by Chelsea, which was one of the most embarrassing days as an Arsenal fan, honestly. So you could I just remember under Emery and the last years of Wenger in particular, like Arsenal were just not competitive against our biggest rivals. We would get turned over. We just were very soft in the way we
Yeah.
approach games. We were out muscled by teams, out talented by teams. Like it was terrible and out fought is the key
Yeah. If you
thing.
go down 2-0, the game was over pretty much.
Yeah, it was bad to the point where like I myself like almost wanted to stop watching the club for a little bit. Like I was on the cusp of that. Like people talk about how Arsenal are boring to watch now. For me, having constant success or consistent results is not boring. For me, being pumped every single week is gut wrenching and boring for me because I knew every single week that our club came out and they had no fight. They had no fight. They didn't care. They didn't play for the badge. Half of them wanted to be out of here. Half of them thought that they were like, the big shit.
Mm.
Some of
The
them
big
thought they were
cheese.
the big cheese, right? We had too many of those in the team as well at the time. Like, yeah, that's just sort of kind of how I like when I talk
What
about Arteta. That's kind of the way I like to.
what I would give him credit for. I don't give him credit for the squad building per se. I give him credit for the mentality shift. I give him credit for strengthening our spine mentally. That's what I give him credit for because the Arsenal that we have today is way hardier, way tougher. Just we're a team that in terms of our physical presence and our willingness to fight is one of our strengths. It's why we have the clashes with Newcastle and the clashes with Man City and now the clashes with Liverpool now in terms of like on the pitch, like we will fight, and that's something that we haven't seen for a very, very, very long time. You know, like the players are fired up, and I think that is due to Mikel Arteta changing the mentality of the club from the inside. That's what I give him credit for, and I salute him for that.
Yeah, and I
Because
think another thing.
we're a lot of things, but we're not quitters. We don't give up. That's
I
not
think
something
another
I
thing that
I
Arteta
see.
changed, and I think this is something that maybe us as Arsenal fans forget, but it was this fan base was very, very toxic. It was so negative. It was the Emirates was silent. By the way, people used to complain. They used to call it the Highbury Library, even though we was at the Emirates. People
Mm,
also used to make fun of that. Like, not only was it quiet, but when things went bad, we turned against our own team. Even before Emery, we had Wenger in, Wenger out. We had Kronk. We had like people going like, "We want Kronk." You should go back and see like videos of like some of your guys on AFTV like Turkish at like a full-on rally. We want
mm,
Cronky out. We want Cronky out. Like
yeah.
the whole atmosphere around the club was poisonous. We were bringing banners. We were flying planes over the stadium. The one thing that Arteta did, I think, from day one, and he said it at his opening press conference, is that the club that he sees now is not the club he recognized from the day that he played or from the days when Arsenal were at their greatest. And he said Arsenal are at their greatest when the fans love this club. And at the moment, we need to create a product that the fans are proud to be to support.
Mm,
He made it very clear that the fans we do this for the fans. This is the most important things. We wanted to bring the club together. And
mm,
like Obama, I remember in his first interview post match, I think we won. I think that game in which I put the lineup out for.
mm,
And we won in his first game as Arteta as Arsenal manager. And he said,
mm,
"We finally have a guy who we believe in now. Who it's refreshing. We're willing. It's like it's different. Like we finally have someone who believes in our abilities and is just much more down to earth. And he
mm.
relates to us." Aubameyang said that, and
Well, they used to make fun of Emery's accent, the
yeah,
players.
that too. Callie, everything good with your video?
Yeah.
He says, "Please connect a video source." Anyway, you can still talk. We can still talk while we're
Yeah,
while,
yeah.
while we go on with this. But what I'm saying here is that Arsenal. I mean, Arteta changed the atmosphere of Arsenal. There's all of a sudden a buzz and a vibe around Arsenal. Everyone's excited to go to the games. He was the one who brought in. He asked the artist, forgot his name again, to write the song, for Arsenal, like so we can have it at the start of the scene, which is like it's
The North
called
London,
North London
that
Forever.
was he the one that commissioned that?
He was. He very much was. He made a big deal. If you watch the documentary, his hands were all in the cookie jar of that. He was planning that throughout the whole year for that to finally happen in that game. He finally had his name. Lewis Dunford is I believe the name of the artist. He was a local artist in London who's an Arsenal fan. Yeah, so the song is called "The Angel," right? And I think from that moment onwards, really, there was a vibe. There was like a. I'm excited to watch the start of the games. It gives me goosebumps when you see the whole crowd gets up and they got the scarves and they're all singing the song, and it just feels like Arsenal's now an intimidating place to go and play. I'm proud of this club. You know what I mean? And it just gets me riled up for the starts of the game. And there's just an atmosphere that he's brought to Arsenal that I just think whatever happens to him, it's going to be a mark that he would have left at this club forever, I believe.
Yeah, I think well, to be honest, I don't really like the North London Forever song, to be honest. I just don't. I think I liked it. I thought it was just gonna be like a certain time thing, like for like a season, but I don't feel the same now because it's like, okay, like the warm and fuzzies, like we don't need the warm and fuzzies anymore. We like Arsenal, we're back. Like we're challenging for titles now. Like we don't like I want something with a little bit more edge.
I think it does. I think it does have edge, to be honest. Like
no one's intimidating.
I'll give you an example. You go to the Man United and they're singing "Country Road, Take Me Home." Like, what the fuck does that have to do with Manchester United? Like,
yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't really like their songs either. To be honest with you,
when you go to Anfield and they're singing "Walk On, Walk On," it fucking like raises the hairs in your arms, even as an away, like as a supporter of the other team, and you're like, "Fuck, this is a stage." You know what I mean? Like it just feels like it makes the game feel more. I don't know about you. Like I'm always like fucking. It always gets me going.
To be honest with you, I like
these different perspectives.
I like the Paris Saint-Germain. I think their stuff, like when they're just yelling at you, ooh, like Borussia Dortmund, like those guys, like I think that's the.
I think it's more European with this style.
It is.
The singing is more of an English style.
Yeah, it is more of an English thing, but that's just me. I've just put more pressure to me. Like when the Paris Saint-Germain guys, when they're just yelling at you and doing like tribal war cries at you and shit, like that shit. Like that's a little bit more intimidating for me. But
yeah,
the soft and cuddly North London Forever, I really liked it. Yeah. For the first time I heard it, I loved it, and for that first season that they played it, I liked it. For the first couple of seasons,
the whole crowd rising and they're lifting their scarves up, and they're all
I think that's awesome. But now I think we should be transitioning to, I don't know, I just like a more predatory type.
Yeah, because the song's here to stay, Cal.
I don't think it's going anywhere, to be honest. People love that song. But yeah,
what I'm trying to outline here is that, like, do you think that Arteta's completely changed the vibe and the atmosphere at the club?
Yeah, I think he has. I definitely think he has. He most, like, you'd be lying if you said that he didn't. That's pretty much the biggest mark that he's left so far is the atmosphere change. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably his biggest achievement so far at the club.
So
even more than the FA Cup, to be honest.
Here's my other thing, right? And I'm just talking about just examples of Arteta. See, I'm on the, by the way, for those who know, I'm on the pro Arteta thing, so I'm really trying to build up his case here. Cal, like for instance, I'm ripping up his case, and Cal goes, to be honest, I actually think the North London Forever song is shit.
Sorry, you talked about it so much. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's shit. I just think it's a little soft now.
All right, here we go. Facts. 2008 was the last time that Arsenal played in the semi-finals of the Champions League. 2010 was the last time Arsenal played in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. In Arteta's first 2 trips back to the Champions League. Now, well, you can say what you want about the Europa League, and I think Arteta's backed up his beliefs in the Europa League, how he just didn't take it seriously, with the fact that in his 2 seasons returning back to the Champions League, Arsenal got over that last 16 hoodoo. There you go. Hit the like button. He got over his last 16 hoodoo. Actually, that's out of the shot. How does he even see that? Anyway, and then not just did he get us to the quarterfinals in last season or 2 seasons ago, but this season we went. By the way, it's 2 different things: making it to the last 16, making it past the last 16, and beating a European giant in the knockout phases. I feel like go hand in hand, because yes, in the first season we beat Porto, and we beat Porto on penalties, and it was just like we just got over that hump, and we finally just relinquished ourselves from those ghosts.
Let's just talk about that for a little bit there, because when we played Bayern in those games, that first game against Bayern, we just looked lost. We looked so intimidated, because all our players were playing like shit that first game. We just looked completely.
We had some good, brilliant moments.
Yeah,
so we kicked off that game.
I think
on fire.
Yeah,
and we responded on fire.
Yeah, and I think the series as a whole was actually not bad, because I think Saka scored, and it took a worldie from this guy. What was the Bayern guy game again? The central defensive midfielder from Bayern, that we wanted.
Kimmich.
He scored the header. Kimmich, yeah, he scored the header to knock us out. Yeah,
in the return leg in Munich. Right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Crashed into the box, scored. So it was fine margins. I think Saka deserved a penalty. But yeah.
Yeah, the famous. I went on my channel. This was like my channel about a week or 2 weeks old at that time, and I was just going back on video, just like rewinding it, fast forwarding it, rewinding it, like just giving my case as to why it was a penalty.
But yeah, and I think this campaign that just went, there was a much better campaign. I think overall we were much stronger despite our injuries.
It was like 7-0, 7-1 away from home in the last 16 PSV.
PSV, yeah, we absolutely crushed.
Knocking down a hurdle that we always had. It was we demolished it.
We also demolished Real Madrid.
But then we went on to beat Real Madrid 5-1 in aggregate. Like that's the big for me. That was the I don't know what to say, but the vintage MIKEL Arteta display just happened last year, by the way, in a season that many could argue would have been one that we literally all were really happy to get rid of. But in the midst of that, we also happened to not just that, just demolish Real Madrid at home 3-0, and then beat them away from home. And like for all of those who are saying like, we don't go away to the big teams, and we don't show them what we're about. We surely did go to the Bernabeu, the biggest stadium, the most intimidating stadium on planet Earth, and pick up all 3 points or a win. In that certain respect. So
so from that perspective,
that is progression.
This Champions League campaigns have been really, really good so far.
But don't you remember the days where like we would play a Bayern and a Barca in the last 16, and
10-2 on aggregate.
we had some nights were nice, like the Arshavin game, like the comeback against Barcelona. We also had a 2-2 against Barcelona in there as well. There was one game, I think there was one game against Bayern where we won. Like I remember it was a break from Bellerin who laid it off to Ozil or something to give us the win. Like there were a few games in like isolation that were good, but overall on the ties, especially when we went away from home, we were god awful and we got trounced. I remember as well, by the way, the Milan one, the last 16, I think we lost like 3-0 at home or something, and we almost came back to level that. Like that was in Van Persie's best ever season, like that last year. That's another one, but yeah.
I mean, going back into these, when we were in 23-24, because that was the first time we were back in Champions League. They were saying, "Oh, is Arsenal going to get kicked out in the round of Arsenal again?" You could literally call it the round of Arsenal, the round of 16. So that's what we were known for. And they're not calling it the round of Arsenal anymore because he's consistently pushed us beyond that point, to the point where our Champions League campaigns have been steadily progressing and we haven't actually dipped in that one. So that's something that, so not he hasn't only kind of increased our league position, but he's also increased like how well we've done in the Champions League, which is another kind of feather on his, what do you call it, feather on his belt, on his notch,
cap.
His cap. Yeah. Yeah, whatever the saying is. So yeah, you got to give him props for that. And at the end of the day, Arsenal, we've never won the Champions League. I will never, ever, ever demand a Champions League win from any manager at Arsenal, because our greatest ever managers weren't able to do it. So I think it's extremely hypocritical to want the manager sacked over not winning a competition that we've never won before. Not to say that we should be winning it and we should have won it, but like let's be honest. Like the Champions League is not it's not what should be getting any manager at Arsenal sacked, like not winning the thing. You know? Especially if you're getting far into the competition.
Yeah. So
I think our was that our third semi-final ever in the Champions League?
We will obviously have the one where we made it into the final. I believe we played. Who did we play? I think Villarreal. I think was the semi-final of that, because we played Real Madrid in the quarters.
Oh, 2006,
right?
Yeah.
2008, we played Manchester United over 2 legs. By the way, that was fucking peak football. That to be honest, I know we lost that semi-final, but I still remember that semi-final. That was like 17 years ago now at this point. But that was literally Arsenal and Man United were literally, that was a legendary two-legged semi. Like the quality on both sides, on both Arsenal's team and Man United's team at that time was freaking peak. I loved it. We didn't win it though. But yeah, this was our third,
which says all you need to know about our Champions League legacy. Just not something that we're good at, but hopefully in the future we will be.
I think the way we play at the moment is perfectly suited for that. So I think that's another thing we can get to when we get to the style of play, which is like the pros and the cons in terms of the way Arteta likes to play now, like if it's suited for certain competitions or not. And I think we'll close off this because we're almost half an hour into the show already. I think the main point we want to underline here, right? My question, because I have the answer, I'll tell you my answer, and you know what my answer is. But my question is to you, Cal. Has Arsenal progressed or not from the day that MIKEL Arteta was hired as manager to today?
Oh yeah, obviously. I think everyone would say that, unless you're trying to put together some sort of weird, edgy narrative. I don't think you can honestly say that we haven't progressed.
Okay, so then the follow-up question to that, because this is the famous tagline that everyone likes to throw around, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, trust the process. Like, by the way, they stole that from the 76ers. But
and their process ended in flames.
oh
Okay.
my god, yeah, don't even get into that. Um, yeah, not a Sixers fan, so I don't give a shit. Anyway, um, so do you think that we're still in the middle of the process? Do you think the process has been a success? You're talking about like all the phases. Like, how would you define that at this point in time? Like,
I
do you think
think
that's a real thing
I
or it's
think
overdone?
the process is over. We've done it. It's like it's winning time.
Right.
Like I think this is like the process should be to get us to challenging and being one of the best teams in the world, and we're there. We have one of
Yeah.
the best squads in world football. This summer transfer window just pushed us into the stratosphere in terms of getting everything that we could possibly need. So we're adding that on top of a squad that finished second 3 years in a row and made the quarterfinals and the semifinals of the Champions League. You add in players like Eze Gyökeres and them, man, to this squad. Like this is what we were building up to. It's time to perform, you know. And the only time I want to hear process again is we're winning titles and we're trying to dominate, and the process of dominating, you know. That's the only, and not every team will ever like Arsenal has never dominated before in English football. We're always a team that, you know, we win sporadically. We stop teams from dominating. You know, that's kind of like what we do. We don't really go through droughts like this, you know.
Yeah, I couldn't
we
have
we,
said
we
better
yeah,
myself.
we always pick up titles here and there, and that's why we have 13, because we pick up titles. You know, we don't go through, 10-year periods where we win 6. That's not really our style. I want it to be our style, but that's not what we really do. And I think we need to get back into, before we think about dominating, which is a whole other story. We need to get back into our winning ways where we're picking up titles and we're adding to that trophy count. You know.
Yeah.
So, and we have the tools. So I think the process has been a success. I think I consider the process getting us on the world stage, getting Arsenal, because that was the mission to start us off with, and I think we're there now. We have the tools, we have the talent, and everyone knows it. The only people who don't know it are people who are essentially lying, and then those guys would still say Arsenal must win the title, but then they'd also say we're shit. But those guys are just hypocrites, which is, no one really takes those guys seriously. Most Arsenal fans and even rivals are saying Arsenal must, because there is kind of like an acknowledgement that this team is good enough. Like
So, yeah.
we all know the team's good enough.
Look, I could not have said what you said better than what you just did. Like, you hit the nail on the head. I'll just make a big bold underline from what you said, which is the process is from getting Arsenal from a team that was weak, soft, underachieving, well below the expectations of the club, that was disappearing, crumbling, to getting us back to being a European giant again. And this is where I'm going to lead us on to our next topic, which everyone defines being a European giant as winning trophies. Every time we get into a chat with all of our rival fans, the number one thing that they like to knock in Arsenal's direction: do you guys win trophies? At the end of the day, you come in here with all this chest for a team that doesn't have any trophies, blah, blah, blah. That's what we get all the time. So now me and Cal, we're going to try to be. So this is where Cal if Cal's trying to go on the anti-Arteta side here, this is where he's definitely going to have the upper hand on me here. But let's discuss this, man. Let's be honest, be objective between ourselves. During Arteta's time at Arsenal, would you classify his years as a success, given the lack of trophies, or would you say that it's a failure because of the lack of trophies?
I'd still say it's been a success, but I think I think it's been par actually, because maybe if this was a season ago or maybe 2 seasons ago, I'd say success. But we've been challenging and we haven't picked up anything. But I do appreciate the progress we're making in the league and the Champions League. I think those are amazing, and those were what we set out to do from the onset. No one was saying we should be winning more FA Cups
We
when
had
Arteta
epic.
came.
We won in
No,
from
that's
2014 to 2020. We won four or
that's
five.
that, and that's
Four?
and that's why I'm
Four.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying that's what no one was asking for that. Oh yeah, we got a comment by the way
There you
from
go.
Stu. It says it's a bit flaky
All
to be
right.
honest. I'd say 6 players of genuine worth, over $1 billion wasted on much overpriced guff. It's two-sided. Success at Arsenal have been Mickey Mouse since 2006. Failure wasted over $1 billion. Mostly rubbish players. I wouldn't say that our current squad is mostly rubbish. I think maybe between 2006 and I'd say between 2006 and 2021.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when you say mostly rubbish between that period, I think we're now at the point where we have enough quality where we should be winning the league. Like we can't be like we have enough to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say about this
But in terms of
I'd say about this season's squad in particular, there's not one player on the pitch that if he's he's playing for Arsenal, that I'm like, oh crap, we're in trouble today.
well, except Martinelli, of course.
But even Martinelli, even with Martinelli, I would say let's hold up and see how he responds as a substitute. Because I do think that there are going to be games, like let's say Eze's playing a long time, there are going to be games where where you're playing against tired legs and Martinelli's pace can come on and impact a game.
Then why would why re-sign Trossard? Then that doesn't make any sense though. We re-signed Trossard.
What I'm just trying to underline.
Trossard is the impact sub guy.
Right. But what I'm trying to underline to you, Cal, is the road for Martinelli to come back, to back into your favor. No,
I don't think there's a road.
To be honest, Martinelli was our starting left winger almost the entire Arteta reign, and overall, up until maybe last season or two, like at one point he was like our player of the season, right? Like Arteta, like Martinelli, I feel like we're just giving him a harder ride than he is. Like I've been on Martinelli's shit. How many times I've been on the football terrace saying like I want also to sell Martinelli. Like I've been literally leading the bandwagon of anti-Martinelli, which is why it's funny. In the last 2 weeks since Liverpool, I've been actually on the flip side defending him. But I don't think he's all that crap. Like I still think he's a starting level left winger. And
I think he's gone. Games. I think he's gone. Especially because I yeah.
So he goes, that's why I said success, read it with care. It's two-sided success.
I see. I see it.
Okay. Yeah, you go. So
I see. Yep.
Martinelli was fine with Xhaka. Why faster tempo, one-touch passing? Now he's saddled with Rice, who's far too slow and cautious with no weight of pass. Actually, okay, I think it actually has been the point there, though. He does, in one respect. I don't know about Rice being too slow as the point, but I do think that his chemistry with Rice has definitely been off. But Rice is not Xhaka's type of player either.
He's not. He just doesn't suit the system, and he's not.
I think it's a Rice problem and more of a Martinelli problem, right?
Yeah, because what Rice does for us, I don't want our defensive attributes coming from our winger. I want our defensive attributes coming from Rice. Because when Rice is in there, I'm sorry, like he's way better defensively than when Moreno's there, and he will just win the ball back for us. So when him and Zubimendi are playing, we win the ball back a lot. When the little bit I saw of Eze and what I see of Trossard, I know that players on that left-hand side, given the space and time, and we saw it with Madueke in preseason, that they're able to do something. You know, I think Martinelli, he's gotten figured out. And this is what happens with players, right? Players, when they burst into the scene, they can do their moves and they will bully the hell out of fullbacks because no one's figured it out yet. But people forget that, you know, this is professional football. Like there's a team of analysts looking at everything you do on that pitch. If you're not like an extremely dynamic player, you will get figured out. And the enemy fullback will be instructed as to exactly what you like to do, where you like to go. And if you can't come up with something, you will get shut down. And I think that's just happened with Martinelli.
Look, you know? I think overall, I'm gonna lose having a debate with you about Martinelli at the point. I am going to concede to that. I'm trying. Gabriel Martinelli. I saw his press conference the other day. Right, like you could tell he's totally hurt.
I don't care if you're hurt.
I'm trying to come to your defense, buddy. But
this is Arsenal Football Club. This is one of the biggest football clubs in the world. It's hard. Like, and this is the thing, right? People like I criticize players and people get really upset. But this is what it like. This is my opinion on it, right?
You know what? I don't mind when you criticize. I mind what.
Playing for Arsenal Football Club is hard. It's not easy. Like you have to be one of the best players in the world in order to kind of live up to our expectations because we don't want to finish top 4. We don't want to get a participation award. We want to win, and we want to win everything. And to win everything, you have to be the best, and you need the best players for that. So, and I think also he just doesn't suit Arteta's system, and it was either one or the other.
Arteta's systems become.
Yeah, what Arteta's systems become, you know.
Yeah, because he used to literally. That's the thing that was annoying me, to be honest, because I felt like a couple of years ago, especially that the year that we bottled the league, right? And even the year afterwards, like I remember he scored the critical goal at home against Man City and stuff. Like Martinelli would be clinical when we would be in transition. Like ball would fall to him and he would put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know what's happened to that player. Like the thing that's different, like the thing that's very, very hard, it's not like the team has moved past. I said this in the last podcast that his team's moved past him, but I've kind of thought about this. It's not that the team has moved past him. Something about his game has definitely dropped off.
It's a bit of both. His game's dropped and we've progressed. So the gap has.
It's not all Granit Xhaka, really big. Huh? I know Steve brought up the point about Granit Xhaka, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Rice has put Martinelli in positions similar to Xhaka has, and he's just fluffed it.
Yeah.
He's also not reading. He's not reading the field. So, instance case in point, and I actually rewatched the Liverpool game for a reason I'll bring up later on in the game. I rewatched it again just literally about an hour, 2 hours ago, right?
I could.
Yeah, because I wanted to get a new perspective on it. I wanted to actually watch. No, because you know why? Because everyone has rewritten the way that game has actually transpired, and I needed to watch it with fresh eyes, knowing what happened without the emotion. So, but the Martinelli read the pitch awfully. The chance that Gyökeres was literally making a run, and he had the ball. He saw Gyökeres make the run, and he pulled back, and the ball went backwards. And I'm like, what are you doing? Martinelli, you're the player supposed to be direct. That's what you've been at Arsenal, at least what you were meant to be. What happened to you? You've lost your edge. You're scared. You're afraid.
Of course he's afraid.
I said that it was a systematic Arteta thing, that he didn't want us to go. But the truth is, in that first half, Arsenal actually controlled the main part of the possession. We actually were winning the ball mostly in midfield, and we were actually... This is the myth that everyone's comp with at the end of the game, that Arsenal weren't trying to win the game. Arsenal, it's crazy because I was watching this, right? Arsenal created multiple chances in the first half. Arsenal were the team that had the ball and were trying to make things
Yeah,
happen in the first
we
half.
looked better in the first half. We did look better in the first half.
But situations like you have a chance to put your striker through one-on-one and you're moving the ball backwards when there's no reason to do it otherwise, tells me that Martinelli has lost his confidence and his edge. He's almost like, I know this is the right pass to play, but I don't trust myself to make the right pass.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it told me.
Mm.
Like that's the real issue with Mars. It's a tremendous confidence thing, where a self-doubt thing. It's all mental with him at the moment, I think. But maybe the time. But my point is, like, later on in the year, maybe that time where he needs to be sat on the bench and humble, he doesn't see the pitch for a while. It needs to get him like just really eager.
I don't
really
think so.
excited to get back to.
You know why? You know why I don't think that's going to happen? Because last season he was benched by Trossard and it didn't happen. So it's not going to happen. I've completely given up on him.
Yeah, but we moved way off of topic.
Yeah, so you're talking about trophies.
Talking about Arsenal winning trophies.
Yeah, and I, like I was saying, you know, I was saying it was par because we should have won more. We're Arsenal. Like, we should be winning more.
Yeah,
like picking up stuff along the way. And to be honest, I'm going to say something. I love the FA Cup. I love the fact that we have the most. Like, I love looking at our Wikipedia page and seeing the gold next to the FA Cups.
For people who try to tell us that we don't win trophies and shit, like, we won the FA Cup from 2005, as I said earlier, from 2014 to 2020, 4 times out of 6. Out of the six seasons. Like,
Wenger has 7 FA Cups, by the way. No one mentions that. 7.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But look, so this is the way I look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you done, or?
Yeah, I'm just saying I appreciate us that we're challenging and stuff again, but we should have won stuff along the way. So I'd say just par. I think winning, not like him getting another season, and if he doesn't win something with this squad, he's overstayed his welcome.
Yeah. So I think the conversation here is twofold, right? So we're talking about trophies, because sometimes when I think about trophies, when people talk about us being trophy-less, I think less about it the league or less about it being the Champions League, because I think in those competitions specifically, like, Arsenal have been probably at the premium levels overall, if you're going to judge over the last 3 years specifically, which has been the years we finished second. We've been at the level, like, in both of those, like, second 3 years in a row. People can say second, but that's coming from a bunch of sides that finish way below second. I've been hearing it from Manchester United fans, from Chelsea fans, like from Spurs fans. Oh, second, you guys always finish second. I'm like, well, when are you finishing second?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, that part never. People like to banter us with that, but that part is, in the truth, light of day. I'm looking at an Arsenal fan. That's not where I criticize Arteta. This is where I criticize Arteta. In FA Cup games, like, I'll give you an example: Manchester United last season. The year before that, who was it that we went out in the FA Cup early?
Was it a Fulham or Liverpool?
It was Liverpool. It was Liverpool, was it? Yes, it was Liverpool, right? Now, again, look, some of these opponents are, tough draws in the grand scheme of things, talking about how early that is in the FA Cup. But first of all, that white kit that Arsenal wear, I never want to see that thing ever. Like, I know it's for a good cause, but every time Arsenal play that white kit, Arsenal manage to play their worst football every single time without fail.
We've played the white kit twice this season.
No. The one where they, like, remove the red in total.
Yeah, that one. That one's a cursed kit. It was like no to knife violence in the UK, and we got blasted.
But to put it down to it, right? It's the games where Arsenal played in that white kit, which are the ones that Arteta literally. That's the ones that he should get killed for. Or you get what I'm saying? Like going out early in the FA Cups, as Cal kept saying, FA Cup is our bread and butter. It's something that as Arsenal Football Club, it's something that we've done better than anybody in the history of the game. Like, and at this point in time, though, like the performances that we come, and by the way, they're at home. These aren't away games. At home against United, at home against Liverpool.
Not breaking down a 10-man United and losing on penalties. It's an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace.
And so those are the games that we go, oh well, you know what, whatever. I know that was fucking hard, but we're still challenging for the league, whatever. Like, let's forget about it, move on. Whatever.
But then you don't win the league anyway.
That's where he's failed. Those are the games he's failed. Like, let's be honest. The Europa League, I understood completely because he was like, he was like, my mission is to get this side to the Champions League, and once we get to the Champions League, then I'm going to start going after it. So he's shown, he's validated his lack of appreciation for the Europa League by the way he's performed in the Champions League. So I'm going to let him off on that. But it's the FA Cup, and it's also the Carabao Cup, for instance, as well. 2 seasons ago, we went away to West Ham, where we just bought Declan Rice from, right? And we were absolutely rocked that day away from another nighttime game.
Was it 2-0 again? I think we lost 2-0, did we?
We had a goal at the end from Odegaard, I think. I think it was 3-1, I believe.
Oh.
We were 3-0 down, and we got a goal at the very end. Like
the Carabao Cup game last season against Newcastle.
Yes.
2-0 away and home. You've got to be shitting me, man.
I gotta tell you, my dad was at the first leg of Newcastle against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup.
Wait, so he went to the UK?
Went to the UK, yeah.
Watched that game?
Yeah, and he watched that game.
No.
And I felt so bad for him because he traveled all that way to watch that game and also couldn't produce a goal for him. Like Alexander Isak was clinical on that day, but the crowd was so up for it. Like there was so much pre-match hype. Everyone was and then the players came out so fucking flat. Yeah. The effort in totality in that game was awful. And then in the return leg at Newcastle, when we had this mission, we know we were going to go and we needed to score. Guess who scores first? Them. Like it was like, come on, guys.
Remember Isak scored and the goal got disallowed. Then he scored again.
Yeah. Correct.
What I was gonna say, and this whole trophy thing, right? Him not winning a trophy after that FA Cup has also made it's almost like a hoodoo now, because it's like he can't win anything. Like he can't get anything across the line, which has created like this weird atmosphere where people are saying that we have a mentality issue, when I don't think it's a mentality issue. And it's pretty bad. And this is what happens when you don't win, you know, like everything gets put into question. I think he'd be criticized a lot because we're Arsenal and he wasn't winning titles, but the fact that he hasn't won a single cup competition since acquiring the squad, like with these players, with the players that we want to win, they don't know what it's like to lift a trophy, which is a problem.
That is,
it's a big problem.
The main problem, I'd say, from the trophy conversation. But
they don't know what it's like to get something across the line and feel like if they've accomplished something.
But overall, Cal, this is the question that I wanted to ask you, because I've asked myself this question. Actually, my brother asked me this question, and then since then I've been thinking about it. If this season Arsenal come away with either a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup or both, but don't win the league or win the league, are you going to be disappointed?
Yes, but I would still be glad that we did a cup. Like I want a cup. If we did a cup double, I'd be pretty happy with that, because I don't think that's not something that's easy. I mean, in Liverpool's quadruple charge season, they won the cup. They did the cup double.
Mm.
So um, I think winning multiple trophies in a season is really really nice.
It depends how that looks like, right? Because
Yeah, if
if
it's
we're
like
in the semifinals or the finals of the Champions League and we finish second and we win a Carabao and let's say we go to the final day of the season just like we did 2 years ago with Man City and
mm,
miss out by a point or two,
mm,
and then we in the final of the Champions League and we lose, but we win a Carabao Cup and FA Cup final. I think then I'd be like, okay, wow, we really pushed it to the limit, right?
to be honest, that's literally one of the best ways the season could go. Like, let's be
Without
honest.
winning, without winning the league, or
Yeah, yeah. Without winning a major, that's literally the best that could happen.
yeah,
Without
but
winning, like you take it to the final and the last day, and you still do a cup double. Like we would be talking about quadruple charge
right.
up until
But
those points.
overall, for me, like I'm hungry to win, to just be the champion. The champion. I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. And I agree with you, Cal, that the expectation for Arsenal to win the Champions League is a bit of an unfair one, considering that no manager in the history of the club has ever done it. But I still want it.
I
Like,
think if we
like
win,
I feel if we win the Champions League or Premier League, regardless of like what round we went out of in the FA Cup or the Carabao, I feel like we're the champions. I'm coming out with my chest up. Either we're
yeah,
European champions, right? Or we're
yeah,
the champions of the winners of the
yeah.
league. Like
Okay,
that is
this
what
is
I want. That's what we're knocking on the door for. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to see from Arteta, from the squad that we've had, is
yeah,
that I want to win, I want to see us get over the line in the biggest way. Because all the
mm,
other, but here's the fact, right? If we win one of those, I think the Champions League more than anything, right? If we won the Champions League, we're not. That's the beginning of a long period of time where Arsenal is going to be winning things, because I think we would have gotten over that hurdle, not over just any hurdle. The only hurdle the club has never managed to get over.
mm. I'm
Like
just gonna say,
the European no European heritage bull crap goes away.
mm,
Like I was so ready for that last year, to be honest. I was like, I
mm.
cannot wait to get that stupid, like European jokes that everybody used to make of us all the time, like gone. But like that's what I want to. I like okay, we haven't won trophies, but when everybody's making fun of me, like Chelsea fans, oh, you guys didn't win a Conference League or a Club World Cup. Hey, look at us, we win trophies all the time, even when we're shit. I'm like, I don't want to be in the fucking Conference League. I don't. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to be in the Conference League. The Club World Cup, their way to the Club World Cup. Yeah, they played PSG at the end, but they're beating Palmeiras and Botafogo and Benfica on the way to the final. Like Arsenal on our way in the Champions League played Real Madrid and PSG. Like I know they played PSG in the final, and that was like a PSG that's like, look, I don't want to take it away because that game itself was impressive from Chelsea. I will say. I'm talking about
what
the
I,
entire run.
what I was
Like,
gonna say. I think if we win the Carabao Cup, we win a major.
I mean, at fall. I mean, do you think we win the Carabao Cup this year that we'll go on to win the league at the end of it as well?
Yeah.
You know what?
If we go out in those competitions, I think it'll be a massive mental
I think that's the
effect.
benefit of a Carabao Cup, which is a final that happens mid-season, which is that
I think we should be going all out to win that Carabao.
yeah,
I think if we
taking
win
that all
that,
the way,
if we
that all
win,
the way.
if we win that Carabao, we win a major. Honestly, believe that.
I also think about it from this perspective, right? Because I feel like this year is going to be a massive tussle on all fronts, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's why if after all of this hype on Liverpool, right, the first trophy that's up for grabs, Arsenal win it, that sends a clear and loud message already.
Mm. I think winning breeds winning,
Yeah,
and honestly, I feel like if we won something along the way, we probably would have picked up a major by now.
yeah.
I think the confidence boost you get from because I've seen the team grow more confident by winning more games. Like I don't think it's a coincidence that you finish in the quarterfinals, and then the next season you finish in the semifinals and the champs. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're consistently putting together title charges. I think it's because winning breeds winning, and
At semifinal stage, man. I actually think
we need to win something.
One thing I know about Arsenal, like especially in the recent years, with the exception of when we lost to Chelsea in the Europa League final, when Arsenal make a final, and I'm talking about including playing in whatever you want to call it, the Community Shield, right? When we're at Wembley, we leave Wembley with trophies, 100% since 2014. No, sorry, we lost one. Sorry, my bad. We lost one to City in Wenger's last season. That was like Aubameyang's debut for Arsenal. I remember if I recall, or a second game for Arsenal. But yeah, fine. Throw that one out. But mostly, when Arsenal make it to the final, Arsenal win the final. I think,
and these players don't know what it's like to play in a final, bro. Like they don't know what it's like. Like that needs to change.
That's not fully true, by the way. Like we're talking about players Zubimendi, who played in a final of the Euros
as a team.
Great. Bukayo Saka has played in finals. Declan Rice has played in finals. Yeah.
I mean, separately, yeah, but as a team, no. As a team, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, look, it's true. But
I think the coach, like, you know, like how is he going to handle the pressure?
This is very hypothetical. We also got to wrap up this section. The question here, and I hate what ifs, but if we beat PSG in the semis last year, do you think that we would have beaten Inter in the final? Given the way that final went, too.
I think so, especially because I don't think Inter lost because of PSG. I think it had something to do with their manager. I think he like there's something that went wrong behind the scenes that we still don't know about yet. That shot the players. I don't think that changes whether we play them or if PSG play them. If we beat PSG, we probably win the Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. The big thing, like we're talking about winning the trophies, get to the final. I seriously, that is so key here. Get to the final, get to that final day, and test to see what we can make out of it. Because I think I'd back us in a final against anybody in a final. I've seen us play Chelsea, who had won the league.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play Barcelona.
No, I don't mind about Barcelona, by that way. To be honest, I don't really. This sorry, no. When Arsenal played Barcelona, they had Xavi, they had Iniesta, they had Busquets, they had Messi, David Villa, Ibrahimovic at times, like Pedro. No, like Puyol, Piqué,
but we had Henry.
No, we had Henry. That was in the final of
2000. I'm not talking about the final.
No, I'm talking about the quarterfinals 2010. I'm talking about when we lost 2011 as well in the last 16 when we lost to them. I think what was it, 2014 or something? It was also the last 16. I remember El Neni scored at the new camp at the second leg. This team isn't comparable. I'm not afraid of this version of Barcelona. This Barcelona team is broke. Honestly, I wanted Barcelona.
They won La Liga. They're not broke.
Yeah, okay. I wanted Barcelona last year in the final, to be honest. That was my ideal finalist opponent.
What?
Yes, because we would play. It would suit perfectly the way we wanted to play.
Bro, I think that's a hot.
Absolutely would have taken Barcelona. I would have 1,000%. I've seen that mismatch, like stylistically, because it's the exact type of team that Arsenal do well against. It's a team that come at you. If the teams that we struggle.
That's what I thought about PSG. To be honest with you, dude.
No, but PSG, you were wrong about PSG in that respect, because PSG under Luis Enrique are solid. One thing I noticed right off the bat when we played them in the first semifinal is that they were well drilled and we could not get out of our own half. Like they pressed so well. Like I was thoroughly blown away by their ability to press. Like it's like again, like they're talking about 3 different layers to football. Everyone kind of always looks at you with the ball at your feet in the attacking stuff, but I'm always looking at how teams are doing in the other phases of the game. And pressing is we outpressed every single team in that competition until we played PSG, and I'm like, that's a whole other level.
That game was the first time that season that I felt that we were completely outplayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt helpless. It felt like this team is just better than us in that first half of that first game.
Yeah, except for when Marino scores the start of the second half, and I'm like, and then was taken away. And I'm like, yes, we're fucking winning the Champions League. I felt it all, and then all of a sudden I look around and it's like, what VAR? No way.
I was looking back some of the saves that this guy made.
Donnarumma.
In that second leg, bro. Like that Saka shot, the top bins one that he stops, top left corner that he was curling in, and Donnarumma like stretches.
Wouldn't that not have tied it on aggregate if he scored? I think it would have. They scored another goal afterwards on the break.
Yeah, at the time, yes.
At the very end, I think it was what's the name, Hakimi.
Yeah, Hakimi scored, yes.
Yeah, but at the time, if Saka scores that, it would have tied it on aggregate.
Mm.
So that despite them outpressing us and outclassing us in general throughout that leg, which by the way, while we're on the Arteta subject, what a laughable comment he made to say that we were the better side over 2 legs. We were not. And I love him and I love
my rage.
I was in awe of PSG.
My anger when I heard that comment was like, I can't remember being that angry at him. I wanted him out the club. That I thought he should have been sacked for saying that at the spot. You can walk out of that game and say that you're better.
I'm always here banging the chest, pro Arsenal, and I sat through that two legs, and I'm like, fuck PSG or something else, bro. They are on a whole other level that we are.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, on XG we should have won. I'm like, this guy's insane. This guy's crazy.
No.
This guy's like, something's wrong. So I started to. That's when I kind of cracked on the whole Arteta thing. That comment, if I be honest with you, that's when it was like full slip. Like I was just, yeah. What's the next topic?
All right. So here's the next topic. So basically, by the way, just to conclude, I'll ask you the last time, the lack of trophies. I guess maybe it's a mixed answer. I'm going to guess from you. Big deal or not a big deal if he delivers this year? It would be my question.
Well, if he delivers this year, then it doesn't matter. Then he ended.
That's the main thing. I think that's where we both agree, no matter what, that this season is the most important season of his reign.
Yeah,
like
everything.
We could get into some of the just maybe the finer details of why maybe we didn't get over the line in specific. I think more about leagues and Champions Leagues more than actually the cup competitions, because we have zero excuses for Carabaos and the FA Cups, to be honest. Like that's
I don't think he has zero excuse. I don't think it's zero excuses. I think he has a
no. In those competitions, in those games, we did.
No. I think he had a couple. I would say this: the last 2 seasons we should have won something, but every season before that, he has had to rotate the squad, and the players that we had coming off the bench didn't work. A lot of the criticisms that he had was he was overplaying players, right? But when he tried to use them in the Carabao Cup games, they would literally get knocked out instantly, and it was like obvious that we couldn't trust them. So I gave him that for the first couple of years.
I mean, the Reece Nelson thing was a problem, to be honest.
Yeah, for the last season and the season before that, he should have gotten to at least a final. He should have won something. But I think he does have an excuse before the 2022-23 season.
Yeah. Like, I think the Newcastle game last year was, just for me, just...
That's dreadful. That's probably the worst game of the season.
Yeah. It's not just that, it was the effort. to be honest. I was talking about how Arsenal fight for Arteta.
Yeah, but it felt like watching old Arsenal.
Yeah, that one was a weird one. Anyway, let's move on because this is, I think, the biggest topic and debates that's been going on over the last couple seasons. And I think about between the two of us, I think we're going to have the right to criticize. We're going to have the right to praise in certain respects. We also have the right to kind of clarify and tell the truth behind this because I feel like a lot of this stuff has been overblown. And that is Arsenal's tactics and style of play under MIKEL Arteta. And I want to hone in specifically on, I'm going to say from the year that we challenged, we finished second on the last day. Because the year before that, obviously, we played some amazing football under MIKEL Arteta offensively, but we fell short and we bottled the league, the term that I like to use that year. And then he obviously gone in a very different direction tactically. Well, I mean, let's just start off here, Cal. Like the Stoke City, that narrative is that. I'm going to use a Terry one here. Fiction or football? Arsenal play like Stoke City.
Football in some games because I think right now, I think it's pretty obvious that we're not playing what we could be playing. It almost feels like we need a set piece goal to get going. And if we don't score that set piece goal, the players can't relax and actually start playing the football. And I'm not sure if that's an Arteta thing. I almost reckon it's not an Arteta thing. I actually don't know, but it feels like when we don't score, we don't play good football. And
I mean, that's very basic.
no,
Anybody.
as in like we'll play like shit, score a goal, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, it's like, oh my god, like look at the Leeds game. Like we scored that set piece, and then after that it was like, because before we scored, it was like, why is this not as dominating as I think it should be? We scored the goal, and we literally killed them. Like we annihilated them once we scored that first goal, which is actually echoes of the 23-24 season when we would only open up after we score first. So I think the players are definitely capable of doing it. I don't know if it's instructions. I don't know what it is, but the football, like from kickoff, the football isn't good. I don't think we've played well for the first 20 minutes in any of our games. You know what I'm saying? So it's not 100% football. It's situational, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like that against the big six teams, which is not something I particularly want to see.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to disagree. I think I want to talk about specifically this season, by the way, in general, because I want to look at the games, break them down scenario by scenario. Man United away. Man United, right? We got an early goal, and it was pretty fluky in general. Like Bayern absolutely had a howler, and Calafiori put the ball in the head of the home. When you're playing away at Man United, like in those type of respects. And by the way, Man United on that day, we have to give credit to them in a certain way as well. One thing I'm going to do this season is not base full of my analysis on just watching the game live. I have to make another view of the game afterwards. This is what I noticed about Arsenal against Man United, right? Man United took that game, by the way, at home and all that stuff. They were absolutely on the ball always. They were super, super aggressive. They were super aggressive in their press. They were winning the ball back in like so many times. And Cunha and Mbeumo constantly were getting in behind Arsenal. So we were literally reacting over and over and over and over again in that game. So again, let's put two different caveats. It's the first game of the season. That's the first. Second of all, it's the first game of the season away at Old Trafford. And that means that Man United were super excited. I remember in the chat, and all their fans were like, "Wow, I've never seen Man United play like this for so long. Wow, how good are we?" Like, and that was like, and in the meantime, also like, "Oh, Arteta, what's with this and these negative tactics? Blah 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 blah." But if we go back to the year that we challenged in the title, one thing Arteta switched, and I liked this switch, which was we weren't able to. The theme of our bottling in the season prior was that we would like go 2-0 up at Liverpool, 2-0 up at West Ham, and they would get a goal back, and then they would get a second goal, and we couldn't close the game off. So Arteta in the following season developed the skill as a manager or within the team for us to be able to close games out and be solid, be organized, and put games away with our ability to defend. Make us almost unbreakable. I don't think that is a criticism. I don't think that's a criticism, because what that does is you're going ahead, you're getting the goals that you need. Like, there were games where we literally would score 4 goals in the opening half, like, and then in the second half it would be like possession, letting them have the ball a little bit, keeping it controlled.
That's what I like. My problem is, I don't know if you've noticed, but
that's Man United game is kind of what he was trying to achieve.
Well, he failed, but what I was going to say is at the end of the 2023-24 season, that's pretty much the perfect football that he's ever played, because we would score 3 or 4 and we would play like we do now. The thing is, we're playing like we're 2-0 up at the start of the game. We're not forcing the issue enough for me. We're not scoring the goals and then letting them have possession. We're letting them have possession at fucking 0-0. Like, what are we doing here? And that's a big problem for me, because we have the defense to stop them from scoring. We just need to turn it on and score the goals first. Score the goals first and then play your defensive football. I don't care if you score 3 goals in the first 15 minutes and then you play the stinkiest, most defensive football for the rest of the game and we win. I'm happy with that. But I need you to take initiative and go out there and score the goals first. And I think that's the main problem for me, because right now he's playing like he was playing for that good season, but he's doing it the other way around. It's like he's playing this cagey football, and then like in that Liverpool game, he played cagey football, and then the other game, he's like, okay, we're 0-0 now. Time to bring on Eze and Ozil to try and win the game. But it's like, no, start Eze and Ozil, get the goals, and then you can start putting in your defensive players in.
Ozil or
Odegaard. Yeah, Odegaard. Sorry. But yeah, look, that's what he should be doing. He has it the other way around.
So in terms of this year, and this is kind of where I'm honing in, I could talk about last year, by the way, and the whole thing, because I felt like last year was just a very interesting year overall.
I don't even like
in terms of all of the things that happened.
Yeah.
But just quickly, just to round off on this year, right? We've got 2 games away from home against Big Six. Again, here you go. I don't know what I'm doing and how that does. It happens at least once, twice every pod, and today was twice. So the Leeds game, we scored 5 goals at home, right?
Yes.
I think you make a very valid point in terms of, like, we needed that set piece goal to sort of kick us off. But beyond that, I actually thought we played some really good football, especially in the second half.
Yes, I agree.
The Liverpool game, again, I just rewatched it. I think it's a bit of a misnomer. The lineup, first of all, it's funny now looking at it in retrospect, because MIKEL Merino, who we said was coming on as a third DM, has now scored 4 goals since then in the international break, 1 hat trick. So it's like, a guy who can keep scoring hat tricks is a negative addition to the lineup. But watching that first half, here's where I need to dispel falsities that have been made, narratives that have been made in the media. Also, for the majority of the game, did not go in to defend. In fact, in the first half, Arsenal had control of the midfield. They were playing the ball into Liverpool's half on multiple occasions, just without not much end product. But we did manage to win like multiple corners, especially like earlier on in the game. We had actually had momentum and we were on the front foot. Like we came out and looked like the better side at the start of the game for sure, and we were winning corners. So like what I was saying was that Arsenal were winning corners for the point of trying to like to get the corners, but Arsenal were actually winning corners upon review as a result of actually taking the game to them. So Liverpool were like they managed to ride out that. The issue with Arteta is the second half when we came out in the second part of the game, and 0-0 at halftime was almost like good enough for him, where Liverpool started to take control of the game. They started to believe. They started to feel like, okay, we're at home. Now we're going to start to get a foothold in things. And Arsenal backed off and we went deeper and deeper and deeper. And he waited until we started going deeper. That's when he made the switch for Eze and Odegaard. So it didn't match up with how the game was working at that point. Like the point in which we're getting pinned back the most is now when we're changing our personnel to be more offensive.
Because he wanted to change the flow of the game, but it was too late.
Actually, here's the crazy thing that I've taken away from my second viewing. The Ozil and Eze, I've done it. The Odegaard and Eze switches lost us the game.
Oh, yeah. As soon as, like I spoke about it, I think on my channel, or on the last time we spoke, I think.
Yeah.
As soon as he made those subs, they started to press. Like he got tactically annihilated by Slot. Because as soon as he made those changes, we were boxed in, you know. And
the point here on the game,
we only got to see Eze and like Odegaard play properly like for the last 10 minutes because they were had to defend the whole time.
So here's the truth, right? Here's the truth on 2025-26. The fixture list has not been kind in terms of if you want to see Arsenal, gel as a team and get that team chemistry, because the fixture list outside of Leeds, like, and there's an international break on the other side of it, not ideal. We have yet, all the signings that we kind of put together, I said earlier on this podcast, have yet to properly play on the pitch together. And I'm not talking about injuries and Saka, because again, like that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is like for instance, Eberechi Eze is the key one. That's why Eberechi Eze, why the two of us were really, really knocking on the door, because it's a signal of intent that Arsenal want to have a game winner, a guy who can win it on his own, and a guy who's able to create something out of nothing, somebody who's front-footed. The combination of bringing a new type of striker who doesn't hold the ball up, who likes to get in behind, who likes to finish, put that in with the fact that you got an Eze, a Zubimendi who's a creator from deep. We haven't put by the way, an Nkapie eventually, who will break his way into that team, who can overlap at left back. We haven't seen that version of Arsenal where we're in control of the game yet, because the team that we've assembled hasn't played together.
Yep.
So
that's
when we get this run, 2 games in a row at home, we got Nottingham Forest, which is going to be a nice tune-up, and then we have Manchester City. That's that again. I've said this, I feel like 3 podcasts in a row now.
We should be winning those 2 games comfortably, by the way.
Right. But we need to be that's when I'm starting to see what Arteta's 2025-26 looks like. I feel like he's just trying to get the footing underneath right so far in this game. Right now, like we made 8 signings. We made 8 signings, right? So while it's great to make 8 signings, it also means that you're having to try to have a bunch of players who are learning to play together. So if you look at some of the players who are on the pitch at Anfield, right? Madueke is his first season playing at Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres is his first season playing at Arsenal. Even Christian Mosquera, who's into the game, his first season playing at Arsenal. Zubimendi's first season playing at Arsenal. The players who are out on the pitch against Liverpool, for the most part, are not the players that Arteta's had for the last 4 or 5 years. It's a new players who are trying to learn a new style of way, which is why at this moment in time, I'm not going to give excuses for the tactics. But what I'm saying is that they're still betting in, and you're not going to see the full form of what Arsenal will look like. This season is going to progress, and the team is going to get used to playing with each other. And this team, I believe, is going to look a lot different.
I hope so.
That's
That's the only hope. Because if it doesn't look different and doesn't look better,
right,
we're
and
finished.
that's when we can come out. That's the no more excuses part of this
Yeah,
debate. We can
yeah,
still have excuses for the first 3 games because it hasn't been ideal. Like there's no like we haven't. If we play like Leeds, Burnley, maybe another team in the middle of the Wolves in our first 3 games and look like this, I'd be a lot more pissed, right? But like we went 2 of them are away from home at the biggest grounds in fucking history of English football. Like now we can question whether you like first of all Liverpool for a football game, it's completely shit that like the bullshit that's saying that Arsenal from start to finish were only playing defensive and Liverpool the only team trying to win the game. That's crap because Liverpool for the entire first half did not even have a touch in the box.
yeah. They Liverpool was
60
very, very
minutes.
poor for like,
So
I'd say
people
Liverpool were
claiming, oh,
poor for like 60, 70
right,
minutes.
right.
My
People
problem
claiming,
is
oh, Liverpool were the ones trying to win the game are talking out of their ass. Liverpool as well played negatively, and that's why
my problem is
when I
okay.
went onto the post, I said that Slot was being pragmatic and Hassan laughed in my face. I was right. Upon review, he was being pragmatic
He is
throughout the
being
game, trying to negate Arsenal. So like,
my problem. Okay, what's very
yeah,
concerning? What's very
yeah,
concerning is the fact that we saw this Liverpool team got bust wide open against teams that are not as good as us. We had possession, a lot of it. Well, not all of it, but we had enough. We weren't creating chances that I thought that we should be creating.
yeah.
Maybe that's just
That's
maybe they were just more defensively sound against us, but I felt like we should have created more
yeah. Look,
chances.
that is true. Like again, with everything, there are legitimate criticisms you can make. I still think that we both sat on here and made a predicted lineup, and we none of us had that lineup. Both of us had Eze in some shape or form.
And I saw that lineup, bro. And I saw
You
that
even had
lineup.
both Eze and like oh my
I,
god, Ethan Waneri
I had
in your
yeah,
lineup, right?
I
But
had Buneri and Eze. You had Eze as a 10 and Martinelli, but
yeah,
we didn't.
the
No one.
criticism of starting 3 DMs from the start of the game still massively holds water. But the overall performance of the game being fully negative is bullshit. It's
Mikel
bullshit.
Moreno,
Mikel Moreno,
Zubimendi, Declan
again,
Rice,
see you watch this
midfield
today.
is
Mikel
like
Moreno was good in that game, bro. He
Mikel
was good.
Moreno is either a striker or a second striker. He's not. He's not a
Yeah,
10. He's either a,
but you can
he's
say
a
if he's a
false
10,
9.
right? With a 10, a second striker.
Yeah,
Gotcha
you'd
on
have to
that one,
play.
bro.
You'd have to play him. You'd have to play him as Mikel Moreno would work. Let's say for us, if with Zubimendi, I wouldn't even
You need to
Zubimendi
do
right.
a Mendy Moreno pivot.
No, I would put him
No,
as a 10 up front behind Gyökeres as a
that's what he
support
did against
striker.
Liverpool. That's
Or he didn't.
essentially what he did against Liverpool.
Well, he didn't do much. I think you need like almost Odegaard, Zubimendi
Yeah.
double pivot.
Anyway, here I want to go back to last year because we got to really get onto the Arteta things, right? So yes, last year was the year that everyone was sort of saying that Arsenal's football went down. And this is sort of my thing, and I've said this a billion times to a bunch of people. And this is going to sound like excuse spacing, but it's the real truth. We have a lot. The key guys, the key parts to Arteta's system when it works, when it functions, we're missing. And when I'm saying this, like I'll give you one example. One of the key cogs to Arteta's system, especially in the year that we finished second, was the triangle on the right-hand side of Saka, White, and Odegaard.
Yeah.
Odegaard was missing for huge chunks of the season. Saka was missing for huge chunks of the season. And White was missing for an even huger chunk of the season. And we never got to see that part. So there was a bit of a disjointness to that. That sort of became at times like Trossard and Ethan Wanieri and Timber. Sometimes it was Thomas Partey who was playing at right back. Like, it was just completely disjointed and just not what he wanted in terms of his build-up play. On the other side, Mikel Merino ended up being up front, which I think he produced somewhat. I mean, going to the semi-final of the Champions League.
I think
But again,
Mikel
in
Moreno
terms
up
of
front was fine.
the system that Arteta wanted to play, Havertz getting injured, Jesus getting injured, which if you look at it now, like, we don't give a shit. They're both still injured. But at the time last year, I think was critical. Martinelli, as much as wants to criticize him, also was injured for a huge portion of the season. Like, Gabriel goes out in early March. We don't see him for the rest of the year. Like, we can keep naming how many players kept getting injured. At left back, Calafiori, he was the guy he brought in to hope to play at the start of the season at left back. You see how he's playing now.
Yeah, he got injured so many times.
Get on the pitch.
He kept getting these like niggle injuries.
Yeah,
where, like, he'd play for a couple games, get injured, play for a couple games again. It was pretty frustrating.
So here's the main underlying point. Where in terms of the attack, I don't think Arteta trusted the personnel that he had, and there's two folds to this, because I think that Edu or Arteta, I don't know who to blame, with this whole let's do the really tiny squad thing, because Man City does it at the start of the year as an excuse to not buying players and only bringing Merino and Calafiori, left us short. To be honest, that's why I said at the start of the season, we're not winning shit this year because we're not set up to do it. We're not equipped. That's why my attitude this year is different. We're fully equipped. And then I just feel like the thinner the squad got, the more that Arteta did not trust who was left in the pitch to play. And therefore,
don't forget Raheem Sterling.
More negative because we were trying to preserve. We're trying to squeeze as many points as we possibly could out of situations that Arteta was uncomfortable with us being in. And I felt like that was last season. Because he can't go from the control that we had in games, the ability to step on people's throats like we had to be able to control, to that. And the missing ingredients to that were the key guys that Arteta has built the team around. Okay, he had Rice in there basically the whole year. Even he had a few games that he missed as well. But like Raya, of course, was the mainstay, and he was our probably player of the season. But beyond that, we didn't have the continuity. He didn't have the players to play that he trusted. So that's the idea of why we bought 8 players this year. And that's why that's why I think the whole, like, his style of play his like, this is my honest truth. I don't think the style of play has gone anywhere. This is the same manager who played some scintillating football at the start of his reign to the middle part of his reign, like the way Arsenal were playing. Like that 2022-23 season, like, it was fire. We had so many great moments offensively. That's still the same manager. And the next year he mixed that with being a little bit more, smart and learning how to grind out results and win games when without letting your opponents back into it. Last year was just for me a shit show, bro. Like, that's I try to be critical, and again, like, I was upset for most of last year as well. But I was also frustrated with the teams that we had to put out. They were just so not of the level. So that's why my attitude towards this season is different now. It's like we got all the tools. Arteta proved to everybody that you still got it, man. Like, the players are going to come in now. I want Eze starting against Nottingham Forest, and I want to fucking destroy Ange Postecoglou. You're talking about a manager who's going to have like 1 or 2 training sessions. Destroy him. That's honestly, that's what I'm going to say. Like, not even just manager who finished 17th last season.
Yes.
Like, Pep Guardiola right now is at his lowest point in his entire career.
We need to be winning
Destroy him.
games. We need to be next. Like these
That's
guys,
what I'm
like
saying. The
these
Champions League
guys.
game against Bilbao, right? We just thumped them in the preseason. Do it again. That's now is
Oh,
the time.
do we play
I don't care
Bilbao
about
after
the
Man
preseason
City?
games. Anyway, that's my thing. I had to get that out. That's any
I
holes you could have spoken to what I said.
um yes. Well, you're right concerning being frustrated with the teams. To be honest with you, I thought I didn't think for 1 second that we were winning the league last season after getting Raheem Sterling on deadline day. I gave the
Same.
I gave the window a 5 out of 10 at the time, a 4 out of 10, and then people were giving it sixes and sevens and stuff. Absolute madness. Um, but yeah, that last transfer window, though not the last one, but the one before,
January
was
one.
was just
Yeah. I think the summer one was worse than the January one. The January one I actually understood why we didn't buy anyone. Because like let's say like look about in retrospect, right? If we would have instead successfully bought Ollie Watkins on deadline day, we don't have Victor Gyökeres now.
yeah, but we probably could have won a Champions League.
I still think I still think we were in a bit. We maybe could have won the Champions League, but I don't think MIKEL Moreno at striker was what. You know what lost us the Champions League? Thomas Partey getting sent off against Real Madrid at the end
Yeah,
at the Bernabeu.
that pissed me off.
That's what lost us the Champions League.
That pissed
Because
me off.
at the very start of the game against PSG in the first game, they score. Like there was we're criticizing by the way how
And he got
slow we're starting or defensive we're starting. In that game, from the jump, they got at us because we had a gaping hole. By the way, not only Partey missing, but Jorginho as well. Like Jorginho was a no-show last year. For all those like saying that we didn't upgrade our midfield, you're lying. Like we had Partey, yeah.
Partey literally just kicked the ball away and got a yellow card. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're literally winning.
Like, we literally winning 5-1 in aggregate. Just nothing. You don't have to do fucking shit, bruv.
Yeah, like whatever, Partey. Anyway,
game over.
Yeah, I think last season is hard to judge because of the circumstances, but it gets to a point where you don't care anymore. And that's how I got to the end of the season. I really didn't care whether he had it tough or not, because I knew for a fact that he did have a lot of control over what types of players that we got during the...
It was his mantra, like, I want to have a small squad like Pep. Like that, he said that verbatim multiple times. So, but he has now since said, I was wrong. He has admitted wrong for that. And he kept saying so many times in this summer now, the opposite. We're short, we're short, we're short. With a squad that was bigger than what he had last year at the time of him saying it. So, like, that's the thing. That's why I just think we need to sort of, this is the season to judge him. This is like when I say no excuses, I mean no excuses. And by the way, I don't want to completely remove injury from it because obviously you could take things into more into the nitty gritty and specifics. And as the season plays out, kind of judge things one little bit at a time. It's not all like an overarching rule. But the reason why that is that now, like for instance, we're missing Saka. Like Madueke is on great form for England. Like I've no problem with Madueke starting against Forest. Like it's a different year. Like I was even saying this the other day I was in the car with my dad. Like if Gabriel is flying all the way back from Brazil, start Calafiori together, put him at left back, and maybe start Lewis Skelly or Nkapie left back probably Lewis Skelly because Nkapie is coming back from Ecuador as well. Probably Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, Mosquera, and Timber. That's a good enough back four to beat Nottingham Forest.
Yes, for me,
that's what I'm talking about this season. Like no excuses. Like you don't need to overplay players when it's not necessary, but you also, when we're missing players, you also have the players that can fill in. Like I honestly think it all rides on this year, bro.
Mm.
This is it now. Like I have nothing. All those things I said, like I can't say this year's no excuses and then not make excuses for what happened in the past because that's not consistent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, some people are no excuses last season and no excuses this season.
Well,
They're
but
just mad about it.
looking at last season saying no excuses was very unrealistic because at the same time, I'll give you an example of a person, Turkish, same time saying, oh, we had a 1 out of 10 window, and then saying no excuses. Well, there's your excuse to begin with.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
out
that's
of
a
10.
yeah,
So like I
yeah,
didn't expect us to win anything last year. I was
yeah.
very disappointed.
I don't like the narrative that Arsenal must whether we sign like
They'll
there's
get
this
lost a whole other thing.
yeah
That's a whole other
yeah
thing.
that the whole you know
Also
it didn't
must. Who's
really
gonna
but no, I was more of the lines of Arsenal must even if we had a shit window or not. We didn't have a
Yeah.
shit window, but like people were saying, it doesn't matter who the Arsenal signed, they must. It's like
But
no,
that's no logic behind
no,
it.
who we sign actually it does affect
Yeah.
how we do. But
It's got
yeah,
no logic behind it. I'll tell you this much. Up until the Eze signing, and I think both of us were in tune with this. I heard you, like you were on Straight Facts, and you were saying like how majorly disappointed you were that we didn't go out and buy the player like Eze that was going to change. That's so lacking of ambition. And at that
mm,
point of the summer, that would have been a correct narrative. But
mm,
now that we've done it,
not
there's no
anymore.
excuses.
Now that we like after we signed Eze for me, that was like okay, we have enough to win the league,
Yeah, and
and then
by
we
the way,
went on and got someone else after that. So we definitely
here's the thing. I want to flip the script, right? Because and we're gonna have to end this show in a second because I think we've kind of got into what our expectations are for the future already.
yeah we
Um,
do yeah we have
so this is the one thing I want to say, mostly in terms of just overall talking about the pressure and Arsenal needing and excuses and all this stuff.
mm,
We need to flip the script a little bit because I'm seeing, like, for instance, people from other fan bases, Liverpool in particular, saying, our team is so fucking good. We're the best team in the world. Alexander Isak makes us unstoppable, blah, 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 blah. But on the other side of their mouth going, Arsenal must win the league or Arteta gets sacked. Well, you're just telling me that you have the best fucking team in the world and that you should win everything and you're better than any team ever. So then that doesn't correlate. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I want to, as much as there's pressure on Arteta, I want to flip the script. That's what I've done in all my predictions, right? Liverpool are going to be the team that is the biggest disappointment because they've set the bar so fucking high that if they don't win, if Liverpool finish second on the last day by 1 point, that's a failure because their bar is so fucking high. Like
well I mean for the fans yeah I mean I think the club doesn't really have the thing about Liverpool. The club doesn't really have that much pressure because they've just won the league. I
yeah,
think the players have the fans have pressure because of how they've been speaking, like because they sign Isaac, they're going to win a quadruple. I think that's on them.
it's very much.
I'm not. And to be honest with you, dude, I'm less interested in putting the pressure on Liverpool than I am putting the pressure on Chelsea, because Chelsea are frauds. I think
Chelsea are
they.
massive odds.
I think they.
They don't even come anywhere near us in league position, and they're the fans who were
And they're
laughing us
back.
down.
They
Trophy.
they're in the Champions League now. They're not going to be getting no Conference League or anything like that. So they can rest all their players and basically playing one game a week football. Like they're actually
Mm-hmm.
going to be having to play their best players a lot. And I'm very keen to see what happens. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm keen to see what they produce.
I'm also keen to see on this, by the way, because for all of the Jokeres stuff that's been going on, and it's been bad, man. It's even gotten worse over the international break.
Yeah, I don't really care about
One
that.
thing that annoys me about this, though, is there are players that were bought for more money, strikers that were bought for more money. Like, I want to see the same energy for Alexander. If this is the energy going to give me for Jokeres, a player who has cost about 3 times as much, Man, Alexander Isak better fucking score this weekend away at Burnley.
To be honest, like we don't even
No,
need to say
I'm
that.
serious.
The pressure's on because Wirtz has been getting like cooked. Like he's been getting roasted alive for
Not to the same
for not.
extent as Yak was.
Yes, he has like no goals or no
Like Sesko
assists.
doesn't have a shot on target. Sesko went for 70 plus. So for all the people who are like, "Oh man, Sesko's the answer. Gyökeres doesn't work." Well, Sesko's doing fuck all himself. Like I think that all of this shit is crap. Like let's be honest. Like yeah, the standard that people put on Arsenal, it's a joke to me, bro. Like this is why I like having conversations with people like you, because we can be critical of our own club and in fairness because we out of love.
Yeah,
But a lot of people are just trying to set us up for failure and laugh at us in the same sentence.
even so-called allies of the club do
We're
that
allies
at
of the
times.
club. Everyone's an enemy. We're all going for the same thing.
Don't
Yeah,
worry. What I
that's-
mean by allies, I mean by Arsenal fans. Some of them took for rivals a little bit too much, in my opinion.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah,
Like,
we're getting
when they get on a stream with a rival,
yeah,
like
it's,
that's yeah. Okay, so a whole other thing, and
we're almost at 2 hours.
yes, we are. All right. Okay, guys. Well, that's been the whole conversation.
Yeah,
about Arteta. I think
it's a pretty.
as we said in the title, this is a deep dive, and I feel like we've got at this from every single angle.
Pretty much.
So what do you guys think? Honestly, leave a comment in the comments section. Do you think that this has been a success for Arteta so far? Do you think he's exceeded expectations? Do you think that the narrative on him has been unfair? Do you think it's been fair? Is the word? Yeah, just let me know. Like, is this the last season for Arteta? Does he have no excuses? I think that's the part where me and Cal agree on the most. That this year is the no excuses year. So that's it, guys. We will have we'll be having back after we play against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Actually, quickly, Carol, score prediction on Nottingham Forest on the weekend?
3-1 Arsenal.
They're not scoring on us. They're not scoring on us. Liverpool, I was happy to give them the flowers. Nottingham Forest not scoring on us.
Okay.
I hear what I'm saying. 4-0 Arsenal.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. 4-0 Arsenal. Eze is getting on the score sheet in this game. Madueke is getting on the score sheet in this game, and Gyökeres is getting a double. That's Gyökeres another double, another brace against Nottingham Forest. I respect some of their individual defenders, but the new manager, I think, in many respects, you have like that new manager bounce thing. I think this one, you've been here for like, you're gonna have 1 or 2 training sessions at the most with a manager that plays a completely different style from the one that he just left. Like Nuno plays a huge part in how well drilled they are defensively. Like Angie's the opposite of well drilled. Like, yeah, no.
How did he land that job? Is it just because he's Greek? Like I don't get it, bro.
I don't know, bro.
I don't get it.
I mean, it's a downgrade from his previous job. Let's be honest. So maybe that's the thinking here. Like maybe, he's a level ahead of Nottingham Forest coming from Spurs. I don't know. Nuno also used to be at Spurs, but yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think that was all political. Like honestly, I think they're gonna regret that.
He probably just told. I reckon he just told Marinakis something he didn't want to hear, and he fired him.
Well, he said something already in the publicly in the press conference or something. He said something.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't pay attention to. I can't quote it, but I heard something about that. Anyway, guys, that'll be the end of the show. Cal's got us winning 3-1. I've got us winning 4-0 on the weekend, guys. We'll see you after that game. Take care.
See ya.